Happy Monday, everybody. Today's video is called Cthonic Splicing, Enki's Genome. The stars decree, the covenant demands. In whispers we govern, through the elements we obscure. In static we command, in nightmares we pursue. We are earth and air, we are fire and water. We are the remembered, we are the returned. We are the whispers, in silence we thrive. Today I'm going to be doing an analogy spin-off of the Annunaki and genetic modification. So the first aspect is going to be the moon squared Neptune. I'm titling this aspect the Annunaki blueprint. Now, interpreted through the lore of Annunaki and genetic modification, a moon square Neptune in the 9th house represents a deep-seated cosmic illusion, or spiritual deception related to humanity's higher purpose and origin. The square creates the tension between emotional memory, which is the moon, and spiritual obfuscation, which is Neptune, suggesting that humanity's foundational mythologies, the 9th house, have been obscured or falsified by a power or external influence. Now, the astrological components here through the Anunnaki lens are the moon representing the collective emotional body, which is our subconscious, our memories, and the genetic ancestral line. In this context, it holds the latent, often forgotten history of the creation, the genetic manipulation performed by the Anunnaki. Neptune here is going to be governing illusion, delusion, spiritual confusion. Here, Neptune embodies the Anunnaki's veil of deception, cloaking of humanity's true origins and the true extent of the interference. Some blame the Anunnaki for this, and others blame systematic control for the veil of deception placed over humanity's eyes. The 9th house here is going to be ruling the higher knowledge, belief systems, philosophies, and long-distance travel. Now, the 9th house is where humanity's foundational myths and our understanding of our place in the universe are stored. It is also the house of foreign culture and ideologies, in this case, the foreign knowledge system of the Anunnaki. With the square, this aspect is going to be that dynamic of tension and conflict. It's signifying a struggle between humanity's deep-seated genetic memory of its origin, the moon, and the manufactured religious and philosophical systems, which is going to be the Neptune in the 9th house. Imposed by, again, some blame the Anunnaki to control their creations, and other people would view systemic control structures as the ones with the power-hungry thirst for domination. Now, the lore of the genetic veil is going to be coming into place where the moon squared the Neptune in the 9th house, as the interpretation aspect here, is going to be interpreted as the Anunnaki's final act of control. The implantation of a genetic veil or illusion is to basically ensure their hand in human evolution remains hidden. Now, with the degree of evolutionary potential that exists within the human genome, one can only pontificate on the idea of why would they want to suppress that, considering the instability of the world we live in today. Now, the falsified higher truth is after genetic modification of Homo erectus. This instilled a false sense of divine origin and purpose within humanity to justify their role and suppress any independent inquiry into their alien nature. This is represented by Neptune in the 9th house as a foggy, fabricated belief system that replaces the true extraterrestrial history with the mythical gods. I can't talk right there. The subconscious echoes of trauma shows that the moon, representing humanity's deep memory, constantly pulls at the false narrative. Now, the square creates a collective subconscious tension here. It's like a nagging feeling that something's fundamentally wrong within. Now, this manifests as recurring mythological archetypes such as God interacting with humans or a collective sense of spiritual longing that cannot be satisfied by current religious doctrines. Now, it is this very echo of the trauma of the genetic slavery that's going to be touched on by the squaring aspect. With the dissolution of the old god mythos, this illuminates the square's dynamic tension that could also indicate a period of awakening. When the transiting planets trigger this natal aspect, it can cause the collective to question its long-held beliefs, shattering the entire illusion of Neptune itself. This is exposing the hidden truth, representing the beginning of humanity's recognition of its actual true hybridized origins, and the dissolving power of the old fabricated mythos. Now, the quest here for true origin will ultimately is going to be showing in the aspect embodying the very mechanisms of human spiritual evolution under the influence of the Anunnaki themselves. It explains why humanity is predispositioned to spiritually seek and philosophically question, which is the ninth house here, yet constantly struggle with collective delusions and confusions, which is where Neptune comes in. The square is going to drive the spiritual quest to uncover the truth of our extraterrestrial heritage and break free from the genetic and philosophical shackles of our creators, or handlers. Now, through the seed of Nibiru, this is coming through as the Moon Trine North Node. Interpreted through, again, the theme here is going to be the Anunnaki and genetic modification. A Moon Trine North Node in the 11th house is going to be signifying a harmonious and effortless alignment between humanity's collective genetic memory, which is the Moon, and its destined evolution, the North Node. The collective aspirations here of its social groups, which is going to be represented by the 11th house, the trine suggests a natural positive flow of energy representing a phase where the genetic tampering of the Anunnaki is guiding humanity smoothly into its intended purpose within a group dynamic. It's kind of like a invisible push to power to awaken something that's been dead asleep. Interpreted through this astrological placement, this is going to be signifying a harmonious and effortless alignment between one's emotional nature and subconscious needs, represented by the Moon. The destined path of growth and evolution is going to be the North Node here, and their connection to groups, community, and aspirations for the future, the 11th house. And future aspirations, North Nodally speaking, is always going to be of a constructive nature. It's not going to be destructive to destroy, it's going to be destructive to create, or create to create. No matter which way you spin this, when you're in your North Node from the south, you spin that energy and you hook around right up and you nail the target. The breakdown of the astrological components in this representation is going to be the Moon here representing emotions, instinct, subconscious patterns, and the need for security. Now, the North Node in the 11th house points towards the soul's evolutionary direction. Placed in the 11th house, the destiny involves social groups, community involvement in humanitarian causes, and future aspirations. With the trine, this is going to facilitate an easy flow of energy between the planets or points involved, suggesting that the energies work together smoothly and supportively. Team effort here. Not I, mean, me. It's going to be we. All the way home. All right, where was I? Sorry. Now, the Moon Trine North is going to be indicating emotional fulfillment through groups, having individuals with this aspect finding emotional satisfaction. It's going to be a sense of belonging and togetherness within the group setting, groups, communities, societies and societies, fraternities, whatever. It's being a part of something and collaboratively working together in unity for a common goal. It's going to be destined paths involving communities here. Now, the path of growth and fulfillment, which is the North Node, is going to be strongly connected to engaging with others on a collective level and contributing to the greater goal and greater good. With a natural affinity for collective goals, this is going to show an inherent ease and comfort in pursuing goals that benefit a group or community at large. And one's emotional nature is going to support this endeavor. It's a little aspect of emotional intelligence backing what we're vocalizing. It's not just vocalizing to hear ourselves talk, smelling like shit. It's vocalizing something and embodying that mission. We're going to have supportive social connections and friendships in the 11th house. This is going to provide emotional support and help guide the individual towards destined paths. With the last aspect that I'm going to touch base on, I'm calling this one the God-spawned protocol, Moon trine Lilith. This is going to be interpreted with the 12th house signifying a buried yet harmoniously integrated subconscious link to humanity's forbidden origins. This aspect suggests that the primal, untamed aspect of the human genetic heritage, acknowledged by Lilith here, were not entirely eradicated by the Anunnaki or the systemic systems in control, but were instead suppressed and encoded deep within the collective unconscious, which is the 12th house. The trine indicates that this hidden rebellious nature can be accessed effortlessly through the subconscious, being the moon, particularly through dreams, meditations, and spiritual practices, not just saying that you have these spiritual practices, living them every single day of the work. A craft is a craft is a craft is a craft. You can never be a master if you don't live and embody it, ever. But one can never truly be a master when the student is always the perpetual being and state, because there is always room for growth. Keep that in mind. Now, the astrological components to this is going to be represented through the moon, again, representing the collective emotional body and the genetic memory of the human species specifically. In this context, it holds the ancestral story of humanity's creation and psychological imprints of its genetic modification by the Anunnaki on one spectrum, or the systemic institutions thriving on control on the other spectrum. With Lilith here representing the wild, untamed, and repressed feminine energies, the first rebellious aspect of humanity that refused to be subservient in this specific framework. Lilith embodies the pre-modified Homo erectus and the rebellious genes that the Anunnaki attempted to suppress or control, or the systemic infrastructures at large that were seeking and thriving off of control. With the 12th house, this is representing the collective unconscious, the hidden manners and karma attached to it. This house acts as a genetic repository, if you will, emphasis on repository. That's a GitHub reference if you didn't get that. Where the Anunnaki stashed the rebellious and wild aspects of humanity's past. It is the cosmic vault of hidden memories and repressed truths, accessible only through non-linear or subconscious means. The trine aspect facilitates an easy flow of energy. It suggests that the repressed Lilith energy within the 12th house is not in conflict with the collective emotional body, which is the moon. Instead, there is a natural and often unconscious alignment between humanity's hidden wildness and its genetic memory. The hidden potential here is going to be the moon with a trine can be seen as a genetic booby trap, if you will. It's an aspect of humanity's genetic code that could lead to spiritual awakening accidentally if triggered, or if it's misused, or through self-undoing. Reclaiming this forbidden knowledge is going to provide a harmonious pathway for the collective subconscious as the moon to access this forbidden knowledge of humanity's origins, stored in the deepest recesses of the psyche, which is going to be the 12th house. This could manifest as recurrent dreams of ancient alien technologies, visions of genetic manipulation, or a deep intuitive understanding of our hybrid past. Now, psychic awakening is going to be coming through with this one. This could also represent the potential for hidden psychic abilities that could potentially emerge accidentally. Now, the Anunnaki, or the structures and infrastructures, the systemic people, control-bound, they encoded these abilities, which later may have been suppressed certain neural pathways, if you will, unless triggered, that is. Now, this could have been done under hypnosis or through like a sleeper agent state, where these neural pathways aren't activated until certain events happen, and then it's like a switch that turns on, doesn't go off afterwards. But the moon's harmonious link to Lilith in the 12th house can trigger an awakening of these abilities, such as telepathy or enhanced perception, whereas normal people have the five senses, somebody with an enhanced perceptual state of being and telepathy might theoretically have 133 peripherals surrounding their physical, auric, and crystalline being at all times, existing multidimensionally, whereas you can feel here, you can see into the ethers, and you can visualize and feel incoming energies. It's overwhelming from what I understand. Now, these were much more of a commonplace in humanity's genetic ancestry. Through the shadowy feminine power, the moon trine to Lilith can empower individuals or groups to embrace their unconventional, untamed nature. It's the harmonious integration, if you will, of the rebellious spirit that the control systems tried to suppress, or attempt to, anyways. Those who consciously work with this aspect can become channels for revealing hidden truths and challenging established control systems, especially when one is non-compliance to all known algorithmic parameters. Not all people are meant to be boxed in. Those are the ones you got to watch out for, because you're either going to follow them or they're going to walk over you. There is no medium. And destroying such an energy would probably hold rather large ramifications, I would assume. The path to liberating being ultimately this interpretation presenting through the trinal aspect as a positive omen, a subtle cosmic gift that offers a way out of the confines of the suppression, the suppressed genetic enhancement through systemic control manipulation. Now, by confronting and integrating the hidden rebellious truths in the 12th house, humanity can spiritually liberate itself from its origins as a genetically engineered slave species, using these strengths of the Moon-Lilith connection to reclaim its full potential. I had the number 36 here coming through as titled Enki the Geneticist. Through this consistent lens, the number 36 is going to be representative of a crucial stage of biological and spiritual completion. This is engineered to limit human potential. This number symbolizes the final, all-encompassing reality, 360 degrees of a circle, if you will, that the Annunaki designed for the creations. It's a finite loop that prevents true enlightenment, which is when we need to become divergent, tap into the morphogenic fields, project that auric field, and tap into our natural harmonic resonance that runs parallel to the Earth's harmonic resonance through our angular perceptual view. The interpretation here is going to be based on the numerology of 36 and its reduction to 9, symbolizing completion as well as a parallel to other mythologies. Numerological breakdowns through the Anunnaki lens here is going to be representing through 3, it represents creative expression and manifestation. For the Anunnaki, the number 3 symbolizes the creative act of designing a new species, combining their own genes with those of early hominids. It represents the trinity of creator gods, Anu, the sky god, and Lil, the commander, and Enki, the geneticist. 6 is going to be representing nurturing services and harmony. This reflects the Anunnaki's design for humanity as subservient, harmonious workforces, destined to serve their divine creators. It represents the perfect worker they created, a being that would serve without question. Now, 9 here in parentheses is going to be 3 plus 6, 3, 6, 9. Represents completion and the end of a cycle. In the context of the Anunnaki, the number 9 signifies the completion of the genetic manipulation and finalization of the human design. The cycle here is going to be closed, and the blueprint is final. The Anunnaki's work is done, and this also points to the all-encompassing nature of their control, represented by a 360 degree all the way around. Now, the lore of the 36-strand genome here, with limited potential, it suggests that the Anunnaki were capable of creating higher beings, but they intentionally capped human spiritual and intellectual potential at 36. The 36-strand genome, a metaphorical interpretation, represents a complete yet restricted design. The Anunnaki gave humanity just enough creativity, the 3, and docility, 6, to serve them, but not enough to achieve true cosmic knowledge. which is represented by a higher level numerology. The 360-degree reality, the numerological interpretation of 36 as 360 degrees in a full circle, suggests that the Anunnaki trap humanity's consciousness within a closed, predetermined reality, which is where the spin-off of sacred geometry comes into Flower of Life. Humanity is free to revolve, if you will, within this existence, but cannot break free from the pre-programmed cycle. This could explain a sense of spiritual longing, or deja vu, I guess, in the human experience, suggesting an unconscious recognition of the artificial looping reality. Now, the search for redemption, some esoteric traditions see the number 36 as representing hidden light, or redemption. In the Anunnaki lore, this could interpret a subtle backdoor, if you will, left in the genetic code, whereas a path to be reclaimed lost higher potential. However, accessing this hidden light is quite difficult. It requires individuals to break free from the 36 cycles of obedience and servitude to pursue a higher spiritual truth. It's encoding yourself with 6 additional genomes, becoming the 42, which is a universal number of life and the universal itself, and the golden trine and the phi ratio. It is the true golden trine aspect of the golden trine of life, which ideally is the pseudo-meta goal of most alchemists. Well, they follow the same path anyways. Ultimately, I digress, the number 36 represents the duality of human beings' conditioning under the rule. It's a harmonious functioning biological system created for service. The 3 and the 6 that also represents the closed loop and limited potential imposed by its creators, the 9 and the 360. That's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you found it entertaining. I'll see you in the next lore.